All righty. It looks like we are in. Welcome to the 500K Consulting Game Plan session. I'm David Newman. The subtitle, the theme of our time together is how 100K plus consultants can grow their business by 50 to 500% in less than 15 months. So we're on this really cool platform. Let me tell you how this works. We are in a semi-live environment. Semi-live means that I'll be dropping a ton of resources into the chat. If I happen to be here, I will respond to your questions. If I'm not here, I will respond via email. So welcome to Semi-Live. Here we go. Our destination, where are we taking your consulting or solo executive coaching business? More impact, more freedom, more revenue, and basically having more fun, and how to scale your business above and beyond where it is today. In some cases, factor of 2x, 3x, or even 5x, as we talked about in the subtitle. Now, I want you to stick around. There are going to be a ton of interactive components to this game plan session. And at the end of the game plan session, you are going to have a blueprint for where to take your B2B consulting business or your executive coaching business so that you really start to zoom and really start to take off. Now, quiz, consultants and business coaches, that's you. Here's our first poll. Are you already up and running as a solo consultant, 100K plus or above, solo consultant, business consultant, executive coach? Are you emerging? Meaning maybe you still have the day job, you're a corporate refugee, maybe you just started your consulting or executive coaching business a couple of months ago. And then are you experienced? That is our third category, meaning that you've been doing this for 5+ years or more. Now, some people might be saying, oh, wait a second, what if I'm making 100K and I've been doing this for 5 years? If you're 5 years in and you're only making a little bit over 6 figures, we got to talk. That's a whole separate problem that we got to fix. But right now, answer the poll, existing, emerging, or experienced. Pop that in the poll and then we'll keep moving. Cool. Here's our game plan for today. We're going to do a thorough self-assessment on 9 key accelerators for any solo consulting or executive coaching business. We're going to give you some deep dive strategies, tactics, tools, some things to think about on 3 out of those 9 things. We're going to talk about some strategies for positioning. We're going to give you some tactical, very tactical, practical sales outreach that works. And we're going to talk about some revenue multipliers that you might not have thought about for your consulting or executive coaching business that you can start to use right now. And of course, if what you see here resonates with you, we are going to talk about some next steps to help you make it happen. Ready? Ready? Excited? All right, we're going in. We're going in. Now, I mentioned cool resources and gifts. What do I mean by that? There's going to be PDFs, there's going to be articles, links, videos, all kinds of bonus material. Right now, I dropped in a link for Escape the Low 6-Figure Trap. That is specifically for business consultants and business coaches just like you who are hovering around 6 figures, around 100K, and you don't know how to go from 6 figures to multi-6 figures, or you don't know how to go from multi-6 figures into 7 figures. Grab that PDF, just download it now. That is your very first gift. Boom, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, for the folks that might not be familiar with me, or maybe this is our first time doing a program together, let me share a little bit about my background. So, started out my career in theater. While I was in the theater world in New York City in the late 1980s, I was also teaching at my graduate school. So the City University of New York. A friend of mine says, well, David, you seem pretty good at this teaching thing. You could do that for companies, and that's called corporate training. So in 1992, I got my first corporate training job. That led to HR and management consulting at the big Towers Perrin management consulting firm. And then I got recruited away from that into technology consulting at PeopleSoft before they were bought by Oracle. Interesting thing happened in August of 2001 about my fourth corporate reorganization. And the corporate folks know where I'm coming from on this. My fourth corporate reorganization, I went from having the best boss to the worst boss. So I decided to make the leap. I filed my papers with the Department of State here in Pennsylvania, where I live. I licensed a package training and consulting package from a company. They sent me a big box of binders with 30 different workshops and modules and consulting and training programs. And you can see where this is going with the timing. August 2001 led to September 2001. Global disruption, global tragedy, terrible time to start a business. This was my welcome into entrepreneurship. My paperwork, my LLC paperwork from the state of Pennsylvania is literally date stamped September 10th, 2001. They put it in the mail. They mailed it the very next day. Our world changed. And a couple days later, this landed in my mailbox at my front door. Here was the deal. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no fans. I had no list. I had no connections. I had no clients. I had no clue. And I literally struggled for years. Now, the turnaround came when I started to finally turn around my pig-headed stubbornness and open myself up to some mentorship. The right mentors and coaches changed everything. I finally got the clarity and the focus and the decisions around who I was and what problems I solved and how much I should charge. And I stopped doing things that didn't work. And I'm curious if you can relate to some of this. There are three big things. We're going to do a poll here in a minute. Number one, marketing craziness, trying to do everything all the time. Sales malpractice, talking to 90% of the wrong people and non-buyers. And number three is revenue dips, undercharging and wrong charging. So I was never making enough money. If you could wave a magic wand, which one of those three would you love to stop now? In the poll, we got craziness, malpractice, or dips. Pop in your answer, and we're going to close that poll down. Pop in your answer. Let's see what people are saying, and then we'll move on. Fast forward to today. We are lucky. We are blessed. I speak virtually and in person. We do webinars like this. We do master classes. We do on-site trainings with our clients. We do large online and offline events. This is our small client group that we had in Philadelphia pre-pandemic, and we're now starting to do these again post-pandemic. I'm the author of 2 best-selling books, Do It Marketing and Do It Speaking. And these logos are not my logos. These are the logos of the companies where our clients are selling work. So our clients, and we're helping them get in, we're helping them sell bigger deals, better deals, faster deals to companies like Microsoft and Marriott and Nike and NASA and the Conference Board and J&J and the Air Force and KPMG and Lockheed Martin and BMW and Disney. And we also have 46,000 people who receive our occasional emails. So long, long road from the early days of struggle. I share that with you simply to say that your success is our success. And I've seen both sides of the coin. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to succeed. And I'm here to tell you, succeeding is a lot more fun. So you have expertise that clients want and need right now. Your consulting business needs a solid foundation so that you get a steady stream of leads, clients, and cash. We're going to break this down here in a minute. I'm going to show you a couple of models. I'm going to show you a couple of things to think about, and then we're going to dive deep into our 3 primary levers that we're going to move for you today. Now, by the way, I mentioned bestseller. That Do It Marketing book is a real bestseller. It's not some random Tuesday night at 2 o'clock in the morning bestseller. 271 reviews are in this screenshot. I think we have over 300 at this point, and 3 years of being at the top of its category. This is, you can see it's currently ranked 27,000 out of the 8 million books on Amazon. That's not in the category. That's not in the subcategory. That is the top 1/3 of 1% of all books on Amazon, including Harry Potter and the Bible. So that's a real bestseller. Just in case you were curious, everyone seems to be a best-selling author these days, and you got to separate the wheat from the chaff, just so you know. All right, speaking of the Do It Marketing book, another cool gift. We have the Do It Marketing Manifesto, which is a distillation, 37-page PDF filled with ideas to help you with marketing, sales, and business growth. Go ahead and grab that. Download that right now. It's in the chat. Download it, grab a copy. You'll thank me later. Let's talk about what we're here to build for your solo consulting or executive coaching business. It's really about 3 key outcomes. We work really hard with each of our clients to get them better clients, bigger deals, and higher fees. So let's break down the levels of how this works. At the bottom level, better clients, no. You have worse clients, clients that are very quick to crucify you. Every deal is transactional. We're doing small deals, we're doing transactional deals. And if you're like me, when I started out, high fees are some myth or some pipe dream. We're doing any project at any fee. And when that's our mindset, that's our behavior, we are struggle bunnies. Now, we got to jump a line. It's the line of fear and ignorance, because you think you have a leads problem. You really don't have a leads problem, you don't even have a marketing problem. What you have is a strategy and positioning problem. And there's a decision-making problem that we're going to unpack and help you with here in a moment. Once you cross that line, you reach level 2, the yellow zone, aspiring consultant, aspiring executive coach. Now, you're doing better with the caliber of clients, but you still have vendor status, and there's still some downward price pressure. As far as bigger deals, once in a while, there's some upselling and cross-selling, but it's not consistent. And as far as high fees, you might quote a high fee, but then you struggle or you suffer from discounting disease. And we don't want that either. The solution there is to target a specific problem. Everyone needs to target a specific problem that they solve or a specific outcome that they create. And that's going to elevate you to level 3, which is green, which is where many of you are right now. If you're a 100K plus consultant, you've got good clients, but they're not really partners. They're sort of pretend partnerships. You make one mistake and the deal is off and you're out the door and you have no idea what happened. As far as bigger deals, you've got a balance of short-term and long-term engagements, but probably not enough long-term, and you'd like those to be bigger, longer, and better. And then high fees, you have an average comparative fee structure. Now, there's good news and bad news there. Average comparative fee structure means it's not terrible, but it's also average, and you're being compared. So there's still some price shopping going on at that level. What you need to work on there is your investable opportunities, how to make compelling offers that are must-have and have to have and not perceived as nice to have. Now, there's another barrier at this level. It's called the barrier of good enough. The myth is, hey, you know what? We're doing okay. Let's not rock the boat. Let's not stir the pot. Let's not mess with success. Because there's a fear that if you stir the pot, rock the boat, or you quote unquote mess with success, you are going to slide backwards. Actually, this is the source of your stuckness. This is where arrogance and complacency and standing still start to bite you in the butt. The truth is, if you solve bigger problems, you will get bigger checks. And this is where the highest level of client that we work with typically ends up. It's the rock star that has true partners, eager to pay, expecting to pay, and willing to pay. As far as bigger deals, most deals are long-term and recurring. And as far as high fees, now we're talking about premium fees that are expected. Clients would be surprised if you were cheap. So this is premium fees expected, sometimes a factor of 3 to 10 times what they were in the red zone. So at this point, you have unstoppable traction. That success just leads to success, just leads to more success. And that's how you elevate and escalate your consulting and coaching business. Okay, let's move on. The bell curve is real. And here's what I mean by that. There are the struggle bunnies who hate marketing, Once you cross that line of fear and ignorance, we start to market out of necessity, and that's when we hit the aspiring level. Established consultants and coaches are actually pretty good at the marketing and the sales part, but then they stop, they hit another wall at that line of good enough. However, the rock stars love it because they have figured out marketing and sales strategies that are easy, effortless, and enjoyable. And that's where we want to get you. That is where we want to get you. Now, the results at each of these levels, the up and down, feast and famine revenue cycle, that's very typical at the struggle bunny level. Aspiring, you're doing okay, but it's kind of flatline growth. The established folks, which is hopefully where you are, they're on a nice incremental growth pattern, but watch this. The rock stars are in an exponential growth pattern, exponential geometric, right? Geometric, I think that's called by the math wizards, that your business is zooming and it's growing incredibly fast year over year over year. Now, let's talk about when you look at other consultants, you look at other executive coaches, we might see fantastic websites and amazing LinkedIn profiles and really terrific emails. But that great marketing is really indicative of something else. It's the 10% that we see above the iceberg. Underneath that, we've already established the 3 criteria: better clients, bigger deals, and higher fees. Where do these really come from? What do these business consultants and executive coaches have that you don't? I will tell you, they have 3 things. They have a different strategy, they have different systems, and they have different standards. So they have a different strategy for appealing to a higher caliber client. They have different systems and offers in place to land bigger deals, and they have guardrails around their pricing and their fee structure so that below a certain number, they don't put their pants on. And they have standards that they enforce and that they protect. We believe that every solo consultant and executive coach deserves a transformational freedom-based business, because that is what is at the very bottom of the iceberg. It doesn't matter what the marketing looks like at the top. The iceberg doesn't move with the winds and the waves up at the top. It moves with the current at the bottom. And that is the inevitable movement of your coaching and consulting practice. If you don't get that right, you'll be making all kinds of froth and frothing the waves and doing all kinds of things at the surface that will not really move the needle on your success. If you've done a lot of that, tried to fix the external marketing, tried to put lipstick on a pig, can I get an amen? Can I get an amen in the chat? Just pop in the chat, amen, about not worrying about the top 10% and really getting in tune with what needs to happen under the waterline so that you unlock your next level of success. Amen, amen, amen. Excellent. All right. Let's talk about how to start building this out. 3 focus areas. To have a high fee expert business, and that's what every business consultant and every highly paid executive coach, corporate coach has, a high fee expert business. It is about better clients. It is about bigger deals. It's about higher fees. Think about it this way: stabilize, strengthen, elevate. Stabilize the business where it is, get it on a solid foundation, strengthen and improve your sales muscles, elevate and escalate the scale and the size of deals that you're doing, which is obviously going to escalate and elevate the fees. Now, how do we do that? Stabilized marketing, moving you from a generalist to a specialist. Stronger sales, moving you from sporadic sales success to consistent sales success. And systematic growth, moving you from incremental to exponential. Let's break it down if you don't have one of these 3 things going. Without marketing, you're the best kept secret. You're a big secret. You do awesome work. When you talk to people, you convert them. You do incredible work. Maybe even have some growth strategies in place, but you're the best kept secret in your industry or in your niche. When sales is missing, maybe you do a great job of marketing. You do a great job of lead generation, but then when you get them on the phone, or you get them on Zoom, you can't convert them. That business is called big dreams. You're talking to lots and lots and lots of people, but not enough people are buying because the sales function is broken. If the growth function is broken, you're generating lots of leads, you're converting lots of people into your low fee or kind of mid-range offers, but there's no scale. There's no room for that exponential growth, and your calendar gets more and more full. We call that big busyness. Not big business, but big busyness, that your calendar gets fuller while your bank account does not keep up. Your bank account is not getting as full as you would like it to be, but your calendar and your capacity are starting to max out. Let's pop into a quick diagnostic. This is going to be a self-scoring system around 9 dimensions around this model. Very simple self-diagnostic scoring system. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 through 4 is red. 5 through 8 is yellow. 9 or 10 is green. So there's a high bar on green. I just kind of hid myself here so I can push the buttons and launch these polls and do all that stuff without looking in 17 directions at once. So let's start with crystal clear positioning. Here's the operative question. Please answer this in the quiz. How effective, appealing, and clear is your answer to so what do you do? We call this your verbal business card, because to generate quality leads, you need to have your positioning dialed in with exactly which clients you serve and what problems you solve. So score of 1 to 10, how effective, appealing, and clear is your answer to so what do you do? Next part is distinct messaging. Here's the question to score yourself on. To what extent do your prospects immediately see how you are better, cooler, faster, and smarter versus competitors? We have a tool in our program called the Expert Messaging Framework that helps you with this. But the bottom line is that in order to escape commodity status, you need to articulate exactly how your services are not easily interchangeable with any other service provider. So this is really about your distinction. And again, score of 1 through 10, compelling offers. Here's the question for your self-scoring. To what extent do your current services, programs, and offers, quote unquote, sell themselves, meaning that they're bought and they do not need to be sold? Because the more your services and programs are in demand, the easier it is to sell in spite of yourself. And most business consultants, most executive coaches, they love the work of their work and they just hate the sales part. Whether you are a new consultant, a seasoned consultant, a corporate refugee, sales is probably your least favorite thing. We're going to get to sales in a moment because that's the second focus area. But the more compelling your offer is, the more it sells itself. And now your programs and services are bought and they do not need to be sold. Very cool place to be in. Let's move on to stronger sales. Here's the operative question for your self-scoring. How deliberate, specific, and targeted are your efforts to get in front of your ideal clients who are eager to engage? Not any clients, not any warm body with a check, but deliberate, specific, and targeted. Here's the soundbite, my friends. The better you are at client selection, the worse you can be at everything else. Score of 1 to 10. If you're awesome at this and you only talk to ideal prospects and you put fresh targets out there on a regular basis, deliberate, specific, targeted, you know you're doing this right. Speaking of which, optimized outreach. Now you have a target list. You know who you want to connect with. Operative question for the quiz. How often do you proactively open sales conversations from a focused, written, finite, workable list of prospects? You know what? Every single conversation, you need to use the right language to talk to the right people in the right way and put fresh targets on your radar daily. If you're doing that, if you're talking to fresh new people every single day, that's a 9 or a 10. If you're less than that, it's going to be yellow zone or red zone. Reliable conversion is the next piece of the puzzle. Here's the question for your quiz. How often do you use a consistent, repeatable system of steps to take prospects from initial contact to signed contract? You cannot wing it. You cannot guess. You cannot have every sales process roll out differently with every different prospect or client. In order to convert more sales, you need a consistent process that turns conversations into clients at a 25% closing ratio or higher. How good are you at doing that? How good are you at doing that? All right, moving on to systematic growth. Systematic growth. Here's the question for your self-scoring. What percentage of your clients repeat, refer, upgrade, or buy multiple different services? In order for you to escape that feast or famine cycle that I showed you with the struggle bunnies, you need to increase customer lifetime value, client lifetime value, and reliably convert one client engagement into 2 or 3 more. So that's the question. What percentage of your clients repeat, refer, upgrade, or buy multiple different services? If it's almost all of them, close to 100%, then you're a 9 or a 10. Otherwise, it's going to be yellow zone or red zone. Next one, self-scoring question. To what extent is your income dependent on your personal time, attention, and presence? If you don't have an integrated product suite, and some of those integrated product suite offers are not independent of you showing up somewhere or you doing something or you being physically, personally, virtually with a client, you will never stop trading dollars for hours. So if you want to stop trading hours for dollars, you need to create assets, programs, and revenue streams that can be built once and sold over and over and over at scale. Last one, trusted team. Self-scoring question. To what extent do you delegate, outsource, and hire for the tasks and roles that you know you shouldn't be doing yourself? We're talking about from VAs to subcontract coaches or trainers that go out under your banner to hiring a COO. Your ability to build a team of rock stars around you determines your level of growth and freedom. In fact, your ability or your lack of ability to build a team of rock stars around you is also going to limit your level of growth and your level of freedom. So 9, 10, have the trusted team in place. Everything is awesome. If we're yellow, and you know it. And if we're red, and it should be a focus area and something that you want to work on. So at this point, you've self-scored yourself around the model and you know what's what. I'm going to invite you to consider this possibility. What if everything were green? What if you had all 9 of these accelerators totally dialed in and you knew exactly how to get better clients, how to close bigger deals, and how to generate higher fees? That's the heart. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be fantastic? It would. It totally would. Even if half of these were green, you would be in awesome and amazing shape. All right, let's do a deep dive on 3 of these. This is the content that you came for. I want to make sure that we get at least 3 of these totally dialed in and totally focused for you. We're going to talk about crystal clear positioning. We're going to talk about optimized outreach, where many, many, many people have problems and gaps. And we're going to talk about a really important topic, which is the revenue multipliers. Here we go. Your 3 success factors for your crystal clear positioning. Number 1 is just establishing your own clarity of who you are and what you offer and why it's different, cooler, better, faster, smarter. Then a focus on the exact kinds of people you serve and the exact kinds of problems that you solve. And then being decisive, knowing where you're going, knowing where you want to go, knowing what you're good at, knowing what needs to be delegated, outsourced, etc. All the decisions around marketing tools, how to find prospects, where to find prospects, how to set and get profitable fees. All those are decisions that are completely within your control. Now, without clarity, we're going to pop open a little poll here. Without clarity, your strategy is always changing. I know early on, my first 3 years, I was changing directions and changing brands and changing identities all the time. It was incredibly frustrating. My business card printer loved me, but everyone else had no idea what I did for a living. Or your tactics are scattered and exhausting, and or your results are inconsistent and subpar. I'm curious, which ones are yours? Type the strategy, answer the strategy poll question, and we have it as strategy or tactics or results. It's the red words that I put here that is over in the poll. Which one for you is the biggest clarity block? Is it that your strategy is always changing? Is that you find your tactics scattered and exhausting? Or that you're just not happy with your results and you think, well, gee, this might be a clarity issue or a decision issue? All right, answer that and we'll move on. Case study example. My client and friend, Tom Davidson. Tom Davidson was a leadership consultant like many, many other leadership consultants. And he wasn't getting the results that he wanted. And we did some work together and he focused on the natural resources niche. Totally rebranded, totally redecided, totally refocused the business. It's now leadershipnature.com. And I love the crystal clear positioning here. Leadership development for natural resource professionals. That's in that blue headline up at the top of the website. And then the tagline, the big headline here, because great leaders don't grow on trees. Now, Tom went all in. He didn't just put lipstick on a pig. He went all in. He has a customized assessment, a personality assessment that's based on DISC that he has white labeled and he has renamed the Range Finder. Range Finder, again, in that natural resources world, right? This is forestry, natural resources, lumber companies, companies that are involved in the environmental industry. He has a blog called Spot Fires. Spot Fires, another forestry term. He also has business cards and postcards made out of different kinds of wood. Remember, natural resources, forestry is one of his big niches. These are actual postcards and actual business cards made out of wood. How cool is that? What clients say, he's got amazing testimonials and endorsements from all the 800-pound gorillas in his industry. He's always had these, but he never put them front and center. So the Society of American Foresters is the 800-pound gorilla association in his industry. He even has an endorsement from the Deputy Chief of the U.S. Forest Service. So if your industry, if your target industry is forestry and natural resources, imagine how powerful that would be. Tom had so much success, he actually wrote an article for Speaker Magazine called Find Your Natural Niche. And as part of that, as his coach, consultant, and Sherpa, I had a sidebar. I'm going to drop that article. I'm going to drop that entire article, that entire case study into the chat so you can see it, you can read it, you can learn from it, and you can apply the same lessons to your own business. So go ahead and grab that PDF. It is in the chat waiting for you right now. And there I am up at the top, David Newman, marketing expert. So let me ask you, for consultants and business coaches, AKA you, let's talk about your positioning. Your positioning, when we just did the quiz here, 1 through 4, red, 5 through 8, yellow, 9 to 10 is green. Someone like Tom Davidson is green. If you're less than Tom Davidson, or you know this is a problem area, go ahead and answer yellow, go ahead and answer red. Nothing wrong with that. That's why you're here. You're here to learn, you're here to implement, you're here to decide, you're here to change. So what is your positioning self-assessment now that you've seen a real example in action? All right, let's help you with this. 3 positioning decisions that you need to make. Number 1, decide who you are. Don't just focus about what you're passionate about. Focus about what are you passionate about? Who are you passionate about? In this case, in Tom Davidson's case, it was the forestry industry and the natural resources industry. And then what are those people in the blue circle? What are they passionate to learn, do, or become? If you can center your business on those 3 factors, you will have success. Second way to look at it, who's not for you? Who absolutely does not qualify? Who do you not do your best work with? Where are you missing some of those standards to exclude those people? So who's not for you? You can use the process of elimination to help you with this decision. And then the third thing, whenever people are focused with niching or target market, they're always afraid they're going to be bored. No successful client of ours is ever bored, because the secret is depth with variety. What that means is we need to figure out some ways together to help you diversify while still specializing. That means that you are now in the transformation business. You're no longer in the one-off transaction business. You want clients to say, hey, what else can you do for us? How can we get more? How can we go deeper? What's next? These are the kind of questions that you want after every single consulting or executive coaching engagement. And then you want to repackage that integrated product suite for additional levels of depth, duration, and detail. That's how to think about this. How can you repackage your services and programs for different levels of depth, duration, and detail, medium, large, and supersize? Positioning success story. Let's see what Tom Davidson had to say about our work together. Applying David's marketing principles and sales practices, especially around laser focusing on serving my niche market, resulted in doubling my business in year 1 and then doubling it again in year 2. So do not be scared. This is a big leap. We help our clients take this leap every single week, every single day almost. People are making big, brave, bold decisions, and we are supporting them with the methodology, training, tools, structure, and accountability to make it happen. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's time to be brave and bold. Another positioning success is our client, Bryn. She says, during David's program, I saw a clear path. Notice again, we're talking about clarity, crystal clear positioning, clarity on who you are, clarity on who you serve, decisions on where to go to find the best prospects for you. I saw a clear path to building a much bigger business. I got into action right away, got 2 new clients the first week just by doing my homework. With the clarity I got from the program, I will triple the size of my business this year. So these kinds of payoffs, once you've got the crystal clear positioning, you can zoom the business up, and away from there. So that's crystal clear positioning. And you may already be thinking, hey, you know what? I need some help with all of these things. If that's you and you are ready to go, I'm going to invite you right now to book a business accelerator call with us. We're going to look at all 9 accelerators in your business. We're going to unblock your thinking. We're going to unlock your doing. And we're going to see if we can help you do what we did with Tom and Bryn and hundreds of our other clients as well, to help you grow your consulting or executive coaching business by 50 to 500% in the next 15 months. The place to go, and I'm going to drop a link again, is doitmarketing.com/consult. That is active now. You can pop that open, go into a tab, answer our questionnaire so we can prepare for your call. You'll choose a time and you'll talk with me or one of our team. And this is the same kind of initial conversation that we recommend that you have. So it's going to be non-pushy, non-salesy, a diagnostic helping call. And if we both like what we hear, we may invite you to become a client. And that's how those calls work. Okay, let's talk about the next thing. Targeted outreach. Targeted outreach. I want you to think of most business consultants and coaches as these fat, happy seals on the beach. Here's what this consultant is thinking. Well, I blog quite a bit. Here's what this one is thinking. You know, I have a great email newsletter. This third one is thinking, well, I've written a couple of great books and clients hire me from my books. And they are getting into zero action to make things happen. I do not want you to be a fat, lazy seal on the beach. In fact, I want you to be a shark, right? Here's a diagram of the difference between a shark and a seal. A shark gets after it. A shark is proactive. A shark is always on the move. A shark is always looking for his next meal. So you do not want to be the seal. in this scenario, you want to be the shark. How do you start? Research and relevance. Find the blogs, portals, communities, groups, associations, and publications in your target market. If you're not doing this, I would suggest that's professional malpractice, because you can then use newsjacking strategies in all of these publications, blogs, portals, communities, and find stories and find people to connect with in your local business journal, the business section of your major paper, industry blogs and publications, trade and professional journals, associations, and you want to look for trigger events, mergers, hirings, firings, promotions, upsizings, and downsizings. Our client Neil Dunsmore did this, and I was ranting one day, and I said, you're not going to find business in your lap. You got to look out there in the marketplace and see what's happening. Read the newspaper, watch the news, find companies that you can solve the problem today and call them. I was reading an article and I thought, man, this company's taking a beating. Why would they let that happen? I sent their CEO an email at 9:05 a.m. He responded at 9:07 a.m. We met, had coffee, and 1 week later, a $35,000 conflict coaching contract was signed. From stone cold stranger to $35,000 client in 1 week. Why? Because of relevance, newsjacking, and outreach. Now, you can have what we call your active 20 prospect list. Active 20 is 20 specific executives and decision makers that you have on a written, finite, workable list, and that you are reaching out to. Engaging subject line. Oops, I messed that up. So remember research and relevance. We have a little order problem here with the bullets, but remember research and relevance. Engaging subject line and first sentence is really critical. This needs to be a short email, 4 to 6 sentences, 2 to 3 paragraphs max. No attachments, no images, no fancy nothing. Clear call to action. The objective of this email is simply to get a response. It's not to pitch, it's not to sell, it's not to do anything other than to get a reply. Here's what one of these looks like. Subject, Ron, shortage of engineering talent. New numbers show fewer biotech engineers looking for work in the fourth quarter. Forecasted to be even worse next year. As you expand into the Midwest, this could be a serious recruiting problem. Notice all the research that just went into that initial short first paragraph. Then she continues, I'm Jane Jones. I help companies like yours solve the engineering recruiting issue and have information I'd be happy to share with you. Ron, looking forward to sharing 2 to 3 specific ideas for your exact situation and goals. That language is important. Make note of that. You can call me at, put in your phone number, or hop on my calendar at, and then you put your calendar link, Calendly or Acuity Scheduling or Schedule Once or whatever tool you happen to use. If you put 20 people, 20 researched people, 20 relevant people, where you've done a little bit of research, right? What's the difference? Let me ask you, what's the difference between cold outreach and warm outreach? One thing, research and relevance. This takes this from cold to warm. When they reply, they go from warm to hot. And that's when you start to get those results like Neil Dunsmore. Sent the email at 9:05, response at 9:07, booked a $35,000 consulting contract 7 days later. It led to coffee, it led to a conversation, it led to a deal. Now, this is only 2 of the dozen or so strategies that we teach in our program. We have this optimized outreach suite. Active 20 is the researched email. Newsjacking is the trigger events. We also do interviews as a marketing strategy. There's a multiplier strategy, asking for air, before, with, and after team, call outie content, referral posse, partners and joint ventures, board prospecting in reverse with boards of directors, content-based networking, conversational prospecting using chat, messenger, LinkedIn, etc., and then objection buster articles. So lots and lots of cool stuff that we share with our clients about this. But I gave you 2 of them Just get started on 2 of them. Just get started on these 2, and you will start to see some dramatic improvements. Here's another outreach success, our client, Tony Lucero. He says, long story short, I picked up 2 coaching clients totaling $32,400, and I'm on retainer for 90 days at $10,000 per month with the company. He says, doing the activity that David outlines and focusing on what I wanted to attract to my business, right? Focusing on what I wanted and focusing what I wanted to attract to my business is what allowed the doors to be opened. Stay the course, do the work, and know your target market. So that is another case of reactivation, outreach, connection that leads to business, No outreach, no income. Write that down somewhere. No outreach, no income. You don't have to outreach to brand new people all the time. Tony outreached to a past client. He outreached to a networking contact. Outreach is outreach as long as it's to an economic buyer who may, or who probably, right, high probability that they have a need for what you do, or they have a need to solve the problem that you're already brilliant at solving. Seen a couple examples in real life. Let me ask you, how do you stack up against Tony? How do you stack up against Neil? My outreach is, I hardly ever do that. I'm like the fat seal on the beach. I do it once in a while, but I'm not that great at it. That's yellow. And Tony better look out. Neil better look out. I get results just like that every single week with one hand tied behind my back. That's green. Poll is active. Pop in there. How you doing on the outreach? 2 down, 1 to go. Revenue multipliers. Now, again, you might have heard enough already to say, okay, I think I need some help. I think I'd like to talk to somebody. That business accelerator call still available to you. We're going to look at all 9 of your accelerators in your business. We're going to help you unblock your thinking, unlock your doing, see if we can help you in one of our mentoring programs to grow by 50 to 500% in the next 15 months. If you think that journey is worth the trip, I'm going to encourage you to book a call right now. There's a link in the chat, just dropped it in there for you. doitmarketing.com/consult. If you're looking at this video somewhere other than our webinar, doitmarketing.com/consult will take you to the exact same link that we're dropping into the chat. All right, revenue multipliers. 3-tier option. Remember, I talked about depth, duration, and detail. What is your medium? What is your large? What is your supersize? What is your option 1, option 2, option 3? Different levels of depth, duration, and detail. To surface better opportunities and bigger opportunities, I'm going to encourage you at that first conversation, do not take what they say at face value. Ask more questions, ask better questions, and you will almost always uncover upselling and cross-selling opportunities. Stay in the conversation after you think you're done and peel the onion and probe further and uncover more. And you will find more and more opportunities, possibly to double or triple or quadruple the initial sale that they thought they wanted, or the initial problem that they thought they wanted. The more you look, the more you find. So when you stop looking, you stop finding. And that's why you're selling small deals. Tie everything that they want to do back to their strategic priorities. Charge for value, not for time. Oh my gosh, I could do a whole webinar just on that. Charge for value, not for time. Charge by the outcome, not by the input. And your best clients will repeat, refer, and upgrade. If your current clients are not consistently repeating, referring, and upgrading, you probably need better clients, and we can fix that too. If you do that, you will multiply the current sale. This isn't about, hey, later they'll come back in 2 years. We'll do phase 2 sometime next year. I'm talking about initial agreement is 2 times, 3 times, or 5 times bigger. Initial agreement, immediate upselling and cross-selling, 2x, 3x, or 5x. That's how you know you're good at this. Adrian Davis got good at this after working with us. He says, took a potential $50K to $80K deal And with your exact coaching, I transformed it into a $300,000 deal. I can now see how to scale this business 10 times. I've been comfortable at 6 figures. See if this sounds familiar. I've been comfortable at 6 figures, and now with your help, we're going to hit 7 figures. I was undercharging and wrong charging. Shifted my mindset, whole new vistas opened up, helped me completely rethink and repackage my expertise so that now I'm getting the real value that I'm worth. You see the difference here? If this resonates with you, pop into the chat, go Adrian. Go Adrian! Go Adrian! My friend and client, Adrian Davis, mastered this. This was a permanent inflection point in his business. If you're picking up what I'm laying down, if you'd like to have results like Adrian, just pop go Adrian. Go Adrian in the chat. All right. Jen Kronberger, another one of our rockstar clients. Here's my update since yesterday. Just closed the 6-figure deal with the hospital. Done. And they were the ones that said, with the option to renew it, please. So again, another revenue multiplier. Are you building renewal? Are you building multi-year into every agreement? Are you seeding and are you pre-framing that this could be a multi-year engagement, that they renew, that they upgrade, and that they expand? If you do that consistently, you're a 9 or 10. If you're not as good as Adrian, you're not as good as Jen at doing this, then it's not. So another self-scoring opportunity. 1 through 4 is, oh my gosh, I have to start doing this immediately. I've never even thought about doing this. 5 to 8 is sometimes, but I'm not that great at it. Don't do it consistently. 9 or 10 is, I'm ready for the Adrian smackdown. I'm ready for the Jen smackdown. And you do it as well or better. High bar for green, my friends. High bar for green. So that completes our whirlwind tour of crystal clear positioning, optimized outreach, revenue multipliers. Again, if you're ready to go, I would love to talk to you. We're going to look at all 9 accelerators. We're going to get you thinking and moving in the right direction. We're going to see if we're a good fit to work together in one of our programs. The link to book a call, complete the questionnaire, pick a time, doitmarketing.com/consult. Let's recap what we've talked about. Crystal clear positioning. If you don't know what your own positioning is, clients will not figure it out for you. The question is, are you a maybe or are you an OMG? Like, maybe this will work. Maybe she can fix our problem. Maybe he's the right consultant. Maybe he's the right coach. Or, oh my goodness, we finally found the right person. Where have you been all my life? We have to get you in here as soon as possible. That's an OMG. Optimized outreach. No one buys consulting sight unseen. Please remember that. If that is true, then your job is to get seen by prospects. Outreach is the key because nothing good happens outside of a conversation. Our clients hear me say this every single week, almost every day. Nothing good happens outside of a conversation. You got to get more conversations onto your calendar. No conversations, no conversions. If you don't open enough conversations, you cannot close enough sales. Mic drop moment, write that down. Maybe you bring that to your call when we talk. If you don't open enough conversations, you can't close enough sales. Revenue multipliers. Please don't build yourself a job. Stop trading dollars for hours. Stop chasing. Start choosing. Choose the clients that you want to work with, and then much bigger deals up front. Much bigger deals. Remember, the entire purpose of our model, the entire purpose of all of our mentoring programs is to get you better clients, bigger deals, and higher fees. Revenue multipliers are a key part of that. The built-in initial upselling, cross-selling, deal expansion, consulting expansion, executive coaching expansion that we teach and that we recommend is the fastest and shortest way to multiply your revenue in a serious, serious way. Meaning anywhere from 50%, if you're already making 200, 250, 300,000, that's great. We can get you to 450. If you're already making 2, we can get you to 3. 500% happens on the lower end, right? Let's say you're making 80 or 90K and you want to get to 400. Let's say you're like Adrian and you're making 6 figures and you want to elevate and escalate to 7 figures. That's what we're talking about. That's the power of this. So the obvious question is, what do you do next? How do you take this learning and translate it into doing? If something that we talked about is missing, how do you add it? If something is broken, how do you fix it? If something is kind of misaligned, wobbly, how do you pivot it and flex it so finally that puzzle piece clicks into place for your consulting or executive coaching business? Well, we're going to help you do that on your Business Accelerator call. Again, we're going to look at we looked at 3 just now. We're going to look at 9. I'm going to send you a quiz that will help you self-score on all 9. And then we will look together at the results of that to help you unblock your thinking, unlock your doing, see if we're a good fit to work together to complete the revenue acceleration 50 to 500% of what you're doing today. And the link to book that, again, doitmarketing.com/consult. Just drop the link in there for you, make it easy. Bob Leffler, one of my favorite people. This guy was so coachable, he got into immediate action. He says, today was a typical day. Just got off the phone with a guy who gave me $2,000 of his money because I did exactly what you told me to do. So almost every day that happens to me now. So if anybody's thinking of not doing this, you'd be insane. You've got to not only do it, but you've got to implement everything David teaches, and you will be successful. So let's find out if that's true. Let's find out if that's true for you. Book your consult right now. Business Accelerator call. We're going to give you 2 or 3 ideas for your exact situation and goals. We're going to do a self-assessment on your entire 9 accelerators to help you with marketing, sales, and the exponential growth. doitmarketing.com/consult. That's where to go. And you're awesome. I appreciate you. Thanks for hopping in. We're going to get to all the chat answers, and we'll see you on your call. All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.